Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ahmad Nawaz. The ICC T20 World Cup continues. We've got New Zealand up against Namibia tonight. Action is live on PTV Sports. It's, of course, an exceptional game that we've got to talk about because it was very important as far as the points table was concerned. And New Zealand, of course, wanted to end up on a winning note against Namibia because they want to qualify as well. At the same time, Namibia have been going through a good tournament. First qualifying for the World Cup Super 12 stage, surprising everybody. And then from the Super 12 onwards, they've been able to put up a good show. I think it's been a very decent performance. They're one team for the future. If we talk about them, they've scored 105 for 7 so far. They need 59 runs of 7 deliveries, meaning New Zealand will take it. New Zealand scored 163 for 4 in their 20 overs. And New Zealand had some good outing in the batting first. If you talk about their batting card, then they were absolutely superb because I think on a wicket like this, 160 plus was a very, very good total considering the scenarios that we have seen in conditions like these this time. Martin Guptill, Mitchell, Williamson all getting amongst the scoring, but at the end it was Glenn Phillips and Jimmy Neesham both scoring 39 and 35 not out that propelled the innings. And as far as Namibia was concerned, their bowling was a bit decent, especially Scholes and Truppelman, who bowled really well, 25 and 15 runs for them in their 3 overs each, and of course 1 wicket by Scholes that really proved to be the difference. Otherwise, it's been just an okay performance as far as their bowling was concerned. So far, New Zealand have been superb. Saudi bowled picking up 2 wickets each, and Santner, Neesham, Sudhi picking up 1 wicket each as well. In just about 6 deliveries, New Zealand will win this game. And then, of course, we'll have a look at the points table. As far as the second game is concerned, India is up against Scotland. This is yet another very important game for the chances of this tournament. But obviously, a lot is relying on this group in the game between Afghanistan and New Zealand. We've talked about that much, but I think time will tell what happens. Elsewhere, we know that Australia have been able to dominate as well. South Africa have been trying their best. So things are a bit jumbled up as far as other groups are concerned regarding this fixture. Of course, in the later half of the show, we'll be talking about some other things as well. The T20 World Cup will, of course, continue. And like I said, whoever qualifies is going to be there for the taking. But apart from that, tomorrow, we've got a big event starting in Pakistan. It's the Chief of Army Staff Pakistan Open International Taekwondo Championship 2021 that is going to start in Islamabad at the Liaquat Gymnasium Sports Complex. Latest World Taekwondo competition rules are being implemented. This is a G1 event in which Pakistan Taekwondo Federation bid it successfully and took it. There are many countries, more than 15 international countries that are taking part as far as athletes is concerned, and then more than 5-6 countries in where we see technical delegates coming as well. More than 550 athletes in total that include athletes from, like I said, more than 15 international countries, and also the fact that regional teams from departments of Pakistan and provinces are also taking part in this event. So it's a one-of-a-kind event. Tomorrow is the place to be at the Liaquat Gymnasium at the Pakistan Sports Complex where this International Taekwondo Championship under the name of Chief of Army Staff begins. We'll be talking about that as well. We've been highlighting the developments accordingly. But tomorrow it starts and until the 8th it runs in Islamabad. To talk basically Taekwondo, we'll be talking to some international players. But as far as cricket is concerned, we'll be talking about the World Cup. And in studios, I've been joined by cricket expert, somebody who will have a keen eye on the World Cup, I'm sure, as he does on football as well. But definitely cricket is also a forte of him because I understand that he loves the game as much as any of us do, and he's over the moon with Pakistan's outing as well. Mr. Ali Abbas, Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Good to have you on the show. And before we continue, I think we've got a report highlighting who can make it to the semi-finals. That's a big question right now. So let's just go watch this report and then come back and carry the discussion.
Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are both out, while England is almost certain to go through after 4 wins from 4. South Africa and Australia are the other teams still in Group 1 qualification contention, while England has all but locked down its spot in the final 4 with 8 points from 4 games. South Africa has bounced back well since their opening defeat against Australia, but their fate is still not entirely in its own hands. With 6 points on the table from 4 games and a net run rate of 0.742, South Africa could theoretically lose its match and still make the semi-final, but it would be relying heavily on other results and hoping net run rate remains in its favour. Conversely, the Proteas could win remaining match and still not make the next stage. In short, they have to beat England by a big enough margin to go over Australia on net run rate, or hope West Indies beat Australia by a margin that reduces Australia's net run rate to progress further in the tournament. Australia, on the other hand, stands with 6 points from 4 matches and a net run rate of 1. 1.031 after a thumping win over Bangladesh. They have to beat West Indies in the final game and hope England beat South Africa or South Africa don't beat England by a big margin to get the second slot into the semis. Needing to win the two games against Sri Lanka and Australia to qualify for the semi-finals, West Indies faltered at the first hurdle as they lost to the Islanders by 20 runs. However, the game between Australia and West Indies will not be a dead rubber, given there's a lot on the line for both teams.
There you go, all you need to know about who can qualify for the semi-finals. It's a big debate. Kainat Amil in that report has tried to answer that question, but obviously time will tell whoever qualifies. Ali's in studios, but we've also been honoured to be joined by senior sports journalist, somebody who has seen the games up and close in the UAE, and he's probably there for the World Cup's next round, which is moving into the semis as well. Syed Haider. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Welcome to Sports Extra.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much.
Right, mashallah, you're looking very young as always, but more younger than we last time saw you. How are the games treating you there, and how do you find the World Cup so far?
Amazing, because this World Cup is making a history for the Pakistan, especially because the Pakistan for the last decade they have not won any World Cup. So this is the moment for Pakistan, whole nation, that Pakistan is approaching to a World Cup final. And it would be a milestone for the Pakistan cricket also, because Pakistan, most of the teams, foreign teams, they are not coming to Pakistan. So they have to understand and realize that Pakistan is exactly like Australia, England or other teams. Pakistan absolutely also same team, and they have to visit Pakistan also. So Pakistan has proved that Pakistan is not a small team like other Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. Pakistan is also the man team of the mainstream. So it is the moment for the Pakistan whole nation that should pray for the Pakistan to win the World Cup and prove that Pakistan is still like the 90s decade where the Pakistan first time won the World Cup in 1992, and this is the most important moment that Pakistan is going to win the World Cup.
Haider bhai, seems like you really like the air in UAE, because I think the German air was a bit depressing, because you look absolutely fresh.
Oh, this is absolutely for me an honor if you are saying some words for me, but I understand whole the nation Pakistan is absolutely at this moment they are looking fresh, because at least in cricket Pakistan is doing well, good efforts and proving that. So this is the moment. I think it is the only thing which is providing Pakistan happiness in the cricket.
Definitely, that is, I think Haider bhai is right, and I'm just seeing the game over here as well. I've got it on my little screen. Abbas, New Zealand has won the game. They've managed to beat Namibia by 52 runs. That means if we look at the standing, New Zealand once again solidified their position now. They're once again moving up with a better run rate, what they've wanted. But a lot is relying on that game between them and Afghanistan.
I know, and isn't it a little strange, because being Pakistani fans, we have to keep an eye on every single match with respect to the net run rate or what the result is going to be, because Pakistan has always been in contention to just fight for that second spot to get into the semi-finals. And this time around, like, we're not even concerned. I mean, I was looking at the package and I was like, who cares wherever the results go? We're going into the semi-final. So, I mean, it's such a new feeling, and it's so refreshing to see how assertive the team has been. And definitely, I mean, with New Zealand winning, a lot more pressure on India now, with how they go up against Scotland, and then a lot more relying on the game in which New Zealand are going to be facing Afghanistan. So definitely a big result for New Zealand. There was a little bit of pressure on them, because you never really want someone just to be right after you the way the Indians are after them now, because it's going to be a tough competition for the second spot. And the way Ashwin mentioned that, like you mentioned before the show, that he wants the Indian physio to maybe help out Mujib as well. So the stakes are getting higher, and I'm expecting a really good game coming up.
Alibas, would you agree that New Zealand really want this right now? They're a team that really fight for it. They've been in the ICC World Test Championship final. They won it. They still have haunting memories of the World Cup final against England. So they would really want to qualify here.
They would want to qualify. And if there's one thing that we really have to appreciate when it comes to the Kiwis, is that they barely take any pressure. They just do the simple things right. And that is something that we expect from them to do against Afghanistan as well, which is why I am confident that they will beat Afghanistan, because they don't really let, I would say, the white noise really get to them. They go on the field with the plan, and they stick to that plan regardless of however it happens. I mean, I've been looking at that from the time when Scott Styris used to be a medium pacer for the them, you would always see that they had a certain field placement for him, and now they have something similar for Jimmy Neesham. So they have a plan, they have a philosophy which they have implemented for the last 2 or 3 decades, and it's working well for them, because if you see their performance in the knockout tournaments like the World Cups or the ICC Test Championship, they've been getting really far because of their plan. So I do think they will qualify, but then again, the group is getting exciting. Good time to be a Pakistani fan, slightly boring, but a good time to be a Pakistani fan only in terms of cricket.
Of course, we've got our eyes wide open who's going to qualify and who's going to not. But Haider bhai, if we talk about both the groups right now, then we know that Pakistan and England are already there. They're almost there now. They've got to play the semis and then obviously make themselves their way to the final. But in your expert opinion, or the amount of cricket you're seeing there, who do you think might be the other 2 teams that would look to qualify and that have the ability to qualify right now?
So I think scenario is making some easy example that New Zealand is going to make the semi-final, because New Zealand, they are in good position. They have to play only 1 match against Afghanistan, and Afghanistan now they are not in position. If they will be beaten by New Zealand, then they are out from this race of the semi-final. And other team from the other group, it could be Australia, because Australia, they have played yesterday against Sri Lanka in their some mood which they have shown always in the previous years. Only the last 1 year, Australia was getting some problem against Bangladesh. Bangladesh tour, it was a problem tour for the Australia. But now this team, they are looking very solid. And I think Pakistan will go against Australia in the semi-final, the second semi-final in Dubai. And the first semi-final, it could be England against New Zealand. So it is a scenario which can be say right at this moment. But what could be in the last moment, it is still to see.
Very interesting indeed as well. How did you find the game between India and Afghanistan, Haider? Because you were there and you realized that Afghanistan were a bit low. They weren't much focused in the game. I don't want to go towards the controversy, because being a true cricket fan, I really wanted India to bounce back. They're a quality side, in which they did. But going into the future and the games that are left, obviously, like you mentioned, that New Zealand have a better chance. What do you think has happened with Afghanistan?
Yes, in this match, also, India and Afghanistan, there are many things they are hidden still, and they have to be revealed. What is the fact inside, and what they have done under the carpet? It is still to reveal. But as a cricket expert, I will say that it was only a match, a simple match, because you cannot say that India cannot beat Afghanistan. I cannot understand how the people are on the social media, they are saying that Afghanistan have lost the match easily against India. Afghanistan have to lost very easily against India. India is since a long #1 team in the world. So if you are going to compare Afghanistan and India, there is no comparison between India and Afghanistan. But something they are still to answer from the Afghanistan, because Nabi has bowled only 1 over. Mujib is out of the team, and the batsmen, they were not trying hardly as they have done against Pakistan. These are the questions they have to be answered. But as a cricket, we have seen a very good cricket from the Rohit Sharma and other batsmen. They have done very well, and we have to understand that cricket is not only mysterious. Cricket is a game which have to watch, and which have to provide entertainment also the people.
Definitely, that is the case. Ali Abbas, you would agree that India is a strong side, and we wanted them to. Part of us wanted them to bounce back, because we like good competition. So for India's sake, at least, because they've lost 2 matches, they had to make a comeback, and I think I'd agree with Haider, and you would as well, that they had everything to beat Afghanistan.
I know, like, obviously, when it comes to quality, there is absolutely, I think, nothing, you cannot even mention Afghanistan and India in the same conversation. What really struck me was, why did Afghanistan bowl first in that game? Because we have known the Afghans, they have always had a plan. I mean, if you go back all the way to the 2019 World Cup, where they don't rely on their batting, they just put a score on the board, and they rely on Mujib, Rashid and Nabi, and maybe one of their quickies to just do a job. And like, once I did see Afghanistan bowling first, they were just going against the plan that they have been making for quite a while, and that did help India in improving the net run rate as well.
Almost helped them against Pakistan.
Almost helped them against Pakistan, because the thing is that when it comes to India, I mean, there was never really a question whether India would be able to beat Afghanistan or not. The question was if the net run rate can be improved, and that could only have been improved if India had batted first. I'm not saying anything. The Afghans went against their ideology, but I'm just putting the facts out there. But then again, I mean, you cannot even mention Afghanistan and India in the same conversation. And it was a great game of cricket. cricket, and it just brings a lot more life into the group. I still think New Zealand are going to qualify. They're too good a side. They have a balanced head.
What about the other group? Who do you think is going to make it?
I think Australia is going to make it.
So we're having Australia.
Yeah, because I think the way the net run rate they managed to improve against Bangladesh, I think is just going to get them through. And personally, I would like to face Australia instead of South Africa because we did lose to them in the warm-up game, and also I do feel that the Australians have been getting away with it recently.
Are you disappointed with Bangladesh?
I am not disappointed with Bangladesh because recently there was a T20 series between the Australians and Bangladesh, and the pitches that I saw over there, I had a feeling that Bangladesh is going to struggle once the venues get a little bit more neutral. I think they have been sort of just pumping themselves up at home by making pitches that were not really feasible for cricket. So I think it's just a taste of their own medicine that they've had, and I hope the cricket board does realize that if they want their team to compete at the international stage, they have to make their home grounds a lot more neutral, so Bangladesh can take on the rest of the world like they did in the 2015 World Cup when the likes of Tamim Iqbal, Mushfiqur Rahim, Shakib Al Hassan, Rubel, you had these players who had the exposure to take on the rest of the world. Now they don't have that, and I hope things improve over there because it's a great cricketing nation. The people love the players, the people love cricket. So hopefully they bounce back. But I think it's time that a retrospect action is taken over there and something good comes up from the cricket board, because I think it was a shambolic performance from them. If I'm being not
that's definitely true. That was very low on part of Bangladesh. We expected so much more from them in this World Cup. Obviously, with Asian teams doing better, but Adam Zampa taking 5 wickets against an Asian side was completely bizarre to see. But one thing about India, Haider, and I like your comments in that I was very happy that they finally went to Ravichandran Ashwin, who's got the most experience in their bowling attack.
Exactly. Ravichandran Ashwin he's my favorite bowler, I will say, because he's some type of the bowler. The batsman cannot understand what he will bowl. This is very necessary for the bowler, that he has to hide his action and what is going to bowl. So Ashwin is a very good bowler. I cannot understand why they have dropped against Pakistan. He had to play against Pakistan also and against New Zealand also. Ashwin is a man part of the Indian team, and I understand the next captain, if the Virat Kohli is not part of the captainship of the Indian team, then with the Rohit Sharma, Ashwin is also a candidate of the captain, I think, because he is a very good human, he is a very good bowler, good fielder, and also he has batted very well in the Test cricket. So he is a very good player of the Indian team.
Definitely, he is, and he adds so much to the Indian side as well. Syed, Haider, thank you so much for joining us on Sports Extra. It's an honor.
Thank you very much, Ahmad. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Abbas, final thoughts now. You've called it that you're seeing New Zealand qualify from here and Australia from there. But talking about the game, do you think India is going to be dominating Scotland, or is it going to be a bit of a resistance from Scotland that we see?
Well, it depends. I mean, who bats first? I mean, India would ideally want to bat first and put a score on the board. But yeah, I mean, I don't see Scotland causing a lot of problems. I see India winning. I think it was important for them to win the next match. So the Indian fans sort of get on board as well in terms of how they support their team. But yeah, I mean, there's no chance. I mean, it's India all the way and New Zealand in the semis. India all the way till the end of the group, and then New Zealand is going to take over from there and then, face...
Sort of like what you did to us over the last couple of days in football.
Yeah, let's forget into that. Right.
I know he's a happy man, his smile says it all, but thank you so much for being on the show.
Ahmad.
Always great having you. On that note, we're going to go towards a short break, but stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Extra with me, Ahmad Nawaz. Like I said, that we're going to have some very special people now talking about the Chief of Army Staff International Taekwondo Pakistan Championship that is happening in Islamabad from the 6th. That is tomorrow. It takes place. Teams are prepared well. The hype is there, and I think it's a great time to be there. if you really love some action-packed Taekwondo. So it's a G1 level event happening in Pakistan, more than 15 international countries, more than 550 athletes and technical delegates participating from 6 international countries is something huge. And obviously teams from regional teams from Pakistan, their departments and clubs and provinces are also participating. So it's a wonderful event that begins tomorrow at the Liaquat Gymnasium at the Pakistan Sports Complex in Islamabad. So you definitely have got to be there. Joining us in studios once again, I'm very honored to have the director of the medical team for the Pakistan Taekwondo Federation right now, and for this championship in particular, when we talked about it, Dr. Shabeel Nawab. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so
Dr.
much.
I've got to get through to your designers. I mean, beautiful. Once again,
thank you so
Dr.
much.
is bringing the swag, not just to Taekwondo, but on Sports Extra as well. Very lucky to be joined by 2 of our brothers from Oman. One of them is the manager of the Oman Taekwondo team that is participating in this championship. His name is Ali Almaskari. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Brother, how are you?
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to Pakistan and welcome to the show as well.
Thank you.
And we also have been joined by the coach of this Oman's international Taekwondo team that is participating in this competition. And like I said, that more than 15 countries participating, so the stakes are very high. And we're going to be talking to him as well. His name is Adil Al-Wahabi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Adil, great to have you on the show and welcome to Pakistan to you as well. Right, Doctor, first of all, like you were mentioning in that break as well, I was asking you, and it's been tough. So far, to highlight, how far have we gone as far as your duties are concerned?
To be honest, today we conducted these COVID tests and it was great. Great people to meet, you know, athletes are very much excited. We are excited too. Results are coming up. Let's hope for the best. It was a great event today. So almost all the COVID testing has been done and we are fully prepared with our teams.
Ali, if we talk about sports now, in COVID, it's very, very difficult. So first it was only practice and sports. Now it's COVID testing as well,
yes.
So it's a bit funny. But apart from that, tell us about Taekwondo first of all in Oman and the structure that you've got in Oman for Taekwondo.
First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank Pakistan Taekwondo Federation for the invitation for attending this Taekwondo tournament. If we talk about Oman, we started the Taekwondo from 1990, which is compared with other countries, a little bit new in this sport. But so far, alhamdulillah, we've been start to grow up very fast. Approximately in Oman now we have almost around 20 clubs, which is you can say we have almost 1,000 of participants in Taekwondo.
That's a big number.
Yeah, yes,
That's a very big number. So, coach, how are the preparations? Are you here to win this time?
انت كيف استعداداتك في شو اسمه؟ مستعد للفوز؟
نعم جاهزين ان شاء الله للفوز.
Inshallah. So he's very confident. Do ask him about his time in Pakistan so far. How is he feeling to be in Pakistan?
كيف شعورك وانت في باكستان؟
والله شعور جيد.
He said it's very great to be in Pakistan as it's his first time to be in Pakistan. It's amazing to be here. The people, they're so friendly. And the weather is beautiful in Pakistan.
But you were telling me that you weren't prepared that it's this cold in Pakistan, right?
We wasn't ready for it, but you know, next time we'll be much prepared for this.
Hopefully we wish to see you once again. Doctor, that's the point where I'd like you to comment on this, that the beautiful part about this event is that we're seeing our brothers from 15 countries sharing our culture and everything that we have to offer.
That's such a diverse environment that you meet so many people and then so many people around the world, and it's a great atmosphere. Today we met so many people and then people were interacting with each other, so it is kind of a festival, you know. We should have these kind of events. It's very important for the mental health. For the players to give this opportunity, because you know they grow with this.
Doctor, how much is it important now? Because one thing that COVID has made us realize is that our physical well-being is very important.
To be honest, it was all to halt for 2 years and there were no activities. So now things are coming back to normal and we look forward to such events, and it's very important to take these things forward, and I hope that things gonna be controlled, because now the positive cases, they're decreasing with the time, and now vaccine is there, so I hope that it's going to be eliminated inshallah very soon.
Well, Ali, the competition inshallah starts tomorrow, so how well prepared are you, and how do you like the competition so far? This is a G1 level event happening in Pakistan for the very first time. Like I said, 15 countries participating, the level of competition, international delegates and everybody. So how's the Oman team feeling right now?
Our feeling is very great. I can tell you that we are ready for this competition, and we prepared ourselves very well. We didn't come here to participate; we come here to win. So inshallah, we'll do our best.
Yeah. So Adil, are you a very strict coach, or do you like to take it easy with the team?
No, not easy.
Not easy, very strict. Professional training and diet and everything involved.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. So you can also say that Oman is here to win, inshallah.
Inshallah, Oman is win, inshallah.
Oman is going to win, inshallah. Ali, very important question right now. How important is it to have competitions regularly so that, you know, our players can get international exposure?
It's very important because, as the doctor says, it's been stopped for a while, and people now we're going back to normal track. To have those type of competition is really supporting to the athletic players, and hopefully we will see it more and more in different countries.
Inshallah. That's so. People in Oman watching you, would you like to give them any message in your language?
والله شجعونا ونحن هنا جايين للفوز وإن شاء الله.
Inshallah.
إن شاء الله ما نرجع غير بالذهب إن شاء الله إذا أراد الله.
Well, inshallah, we hope you all the best, and I'm sure that you will get many fans in Pakistan as well supporting Oman.
We already started.
Dr. Saab, Ali and Adil, thank you so much for being on the show, and hopefully in the next couple of days you'll have a great tournament and some good hospitality as well at the same time. That's all we have time for this edition of Sports Extra. Tomorrow is the time to be at the Liaquat Sports Gymnasium in Islamabad at the Sports Complex. The tournament begins. It's the Chief of Army Staff Pakistan Open International Taekwondo Championship. Our brothers from Oman are ready to win this tournament. So I think all the other teams better watch out, because Oman is going to bring some real competition. And I, for once, I think I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be supporting our brothers from Oman and many other teams that are participating as well. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.